Private Talk Podcast, Season 3. We are back in Private Talk today. We have Brett Robinson on the couch. Hello, welcome. You didn't think you were going to get that great of applause, did you, on this Private Talk couch?
No, I've watched before. I see how they get their applause.
You researched, I see. What kind of
course.
other research did you do about Miss Texas? Is that something you want to talk about later, the later segment? Or
Yeah, maybe a couple drinks in.
Okay, we'll warm you up to that. Well, welcome, Brett. I appreciate you taking the time and coming on Private Talk so we can get to know you a little bit more and know all the things that you've been doing. You've been popping off on TikTok. You're doing all these great things out there. Is it just shock value? Did you just, think that it just came naturally? Did you even know what you were doing? People even wanted to see. Like, how did all of this just come about?
Yeah, I mean, my origin of being in the spotlight, I was on season 20 of Big Brother on CBS. But I always felt like I was in the spotlight. Like, I always was kind of the guy that was in the spotlight. So you had the
spotlight before the spotlight was on you, and then you're like, this is just my time to shine.
This is just like I'm just going to go do what Brett does best. So, like, when I went and did that, all my friends and family were like, I can't believe you're doing this, but, like, we get that you're doing it. Like, this makes perfect sense.
So it wasn't completely, like, off, like, brand of who you are, and they're just like, oh, okay, we knew you would do something, didn't know it'd be exactly this, but, okay, this fits.
Right. And honestly, I didn't watch Big Brother. I didn't know the show at all. They pretty much approached me, and they were like, hey, we have this show. This is the concept. Would you be interested? And I was like, actually, I'm really not, but if I did it, this is how I would do it. And they were like, we love it.
So cocky.
Like, we love that. Like, we love that so much. Like, just talk to one more person. And I was like, okay, like, I'll talk to him, but, like, I'm probably not going to do it. I did it. I ended up doing it.
What made you, like, that resistance, like, crumble? Is it a dollar amount? Because you, again, knew that the light that you thought you already had was what you were gravitating closer to? What made you deter to really finally just do it?
It was really more of, like, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Like, there's so many people that struggle for years, like, make it an entertainment or to do a show or to get in that spotlight or have the opportunity to get in the spotlight. And I was young. Like, I was 25. I wasn't married. I didn't have kids. I didn't have a mortgage. I didn't have student loans. Like, worst case scenario, let's say I fall flat on my ass. I could totally have just, like, moved back in with my parents if I had to. If I had to.
That's a great mindset without it. I mean, yes, it sounds horrible, the end result, but only in the fact that just be like taking the leap to do.
Right.
It's because some people, even just why, people aren't in a certain position, is because that just taking the leap is the way, like, why people don't do it. So that's cool to have that so young, because like you said, you're young. I mean, some people are just like, oh, fuck it, and just don't really care. Or you're like, hey, wait, there could be a business thing at the end of this. Let me hear more.
Right, exactly. And honestly, it played to my advantage not knowing the show. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. So every time imagine just like this absolute rogue quarterback that just starts playing the game completely differently, but it's working. And everyone's like, how the fuck is he doing this? Like, this isn't how they traditionally have done it for 20 years, but what he's doing is working.
So how, because you don't know the show, how do you go into that mindset of, like, did you just play, and what was the motivation? Just to win? Because it is, as much as, like, you are athletic, you've done, certain things, whatever, but there's a strategic part of that level, but it's also a social game as well. So how did you play into not knowing it at all? How did you come into this?
I actually, my entire game was social. I only won one competition.
On purpose, or because you...
A little bit of both. I mean, there was definitely times where, like, I tried to win and I didn't.
I want the truth!
Are you just saying that now to cover your ass and be like, well, I could have won them all, but...
No, because it's a double-edged sword. Because when you win a competition...
You're a target.
Right. You're a target, but you're also,
But again, mind game.
Right. Yes, but no. You're on everyone... Like, you also are required to make a decision that pisses someone off. No matter what. So you're either putting someone on the block.
Now, what you say that because that's something in a contractual way, or just because the game, how the game is played?
It's the way the game's played.
Okay.
So, like, there are 2 competitions a week. The first one is HOH, and with that, you're guaranteed safety. But you have to nominate 2 people for eviction, and only one gets evicted. So no matter what,
you're making somebody mad.
Someone's mad at you. You're making an enemy. So why would you want to upset the house? Why, if you can just sit back and chill? You don't want that responsibility.
So did you try a love approach? I didn't watch your season, so I don't know. But I with me and Big Brother, I've watched, like, some seasons. I don't know. I don't even know what season you were on. Maybe I did, and I didn't even know that you were on there. But
you would have noticed a hunk like me.
Oh, is that what route we're going here in Private Talk? But how many seasons ago was it?
So they're on. They just finished 23, I believe, and they're about to shoot They're about to shoot Celebrity Big Brother in February.
See, and that's how I kind of got hooked. Like when I was a kid, my parents used to watch the other one, so I had known what it was, but I didn't pick up back after until like as an adult. So the celebrity one was what kind of hooked me.
Really?
And then I saw the thing afterward because I was just hooked to the game because I liked the process. And then and then some of them, like I said in the beginning, you can kind of know what people you like or don't like, and then you're just like, I can't really fuck with these people anymore. Like I wouldn't like hang out with any of them. I would just hate everybody. Or you just, you like to have to like wait it to the end. But I definitely like this strategic and the game aspect. So I think that's cool. So how long did that process end for you? And how does that, like any of those things that happened in the house, live out how your life is currently today living in LA?
Oh yeah.
It's kind of the same thing.
Well, it's a very, it's funny you say that because that's very correct. But the process is, the game is 100 days. The total process, you leave probably like a week before, it's like 107 days. That's not including like your whole casting process. That takes months. That's like, but it's only like hour interviews on intervals, but like over 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
And then you finally get on, you're gone from society for 107 days. So like I left June, like I got kidnapped June 11th, and I didn't have my phone or speak to the outside world until September 28th.
Was that hard for you?
The first 30 days are hard. The first 30 days.
So it's like you were jonesing like a drug. Like you had you had to detox yourself out of like, you're bored. Oh, let me look at my phone. Oh, social media. Whatever.
So the first 30 days, it's like, so you're like, okay, it's Thursday night. Like I know exactly where my friends are. It's 4th of July. I know exactly what my family. I get the worst FOMO.
You have major FOMO.
I have the worst FOMO in the world, and you're just thinking about what they're doing. And I swear it was the 30-day mark because it was the day my buddy was evicted, and the day he got evicted. After that, it was like a switch, and it was no longer okay. It's Thursday. Like my buddies are at this bar. It was like, okay, we have to prepare for the HOH coming up, or we have to prepare for nomination. Like it's
funny how that works, like mindset, because it really is a mind game. That's why, again, like the aspect of the game, but it's like how they say you break or you create a habit in 21 days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you don't realize the withdrawal, which sounds funny if you don't think of it as an actual drug, but those things become programs that are like not healthy programs.
Totally. No, you're spot on. And it's when you're watching from an outsider view, you have that first 21 day perspective. You're like,
you're sitting over there like itching. You're like, oh, fuck.
But you have this like, so the first 30 days you're cutthroat because you don't really have an emotional bond with anyone yet. Even like, and it's a game at the end of the day, but you're still like, hey, I just fucked my buddy out of $500,000, or now it's $750,000.
Does it become that like where that becomes a way that your opinion sways or your decision sways, because now you do have an emotional attachment? Because theoretically you are still, all of you have gone on the same contract knowing it's 100 days, it's this, whatever. Right. How do you know those feelings are genuine?
You don't.
But you're willing to risk $500,000?
See, I didn't. I was the only one, but it still hurts when you do it. You're like, I know what I have to do, and this is what I'm gonna do. It's gonna hurt while I'm doing it.
You lost a lot of friends.
I was the only person that didn't have any.
How many friends do you have, Brett?
No. We're all friends. That's actually not true. There's one person I'm probably not friends with after the show, but that's fine.
Ooh, let's talk about it.
I want the truth.
We like the truth here at Private Talk. But I mean, this show is over. Obviously, I mean, I didn't watch it. I'm sorry I didn't. But it was so much time that when you were coming to my Private Talk couch, which I appreciate, that I couldn't cram all of that in. So who did you have, or you or they offend that you no longer have a relationship now?
Rockstar.
Okay.
Rockstar is this. She was a purple-haired pagan witch, trying to just crazy hippie.
Okay.
If I could describe her, and those are all like self-proclaimed.
We
words.
Like visual things because we're also an audio show, so I like it. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's your description.
So that's my description, and naturally we butted heads. We didn't necessarily have
from the beginning.
From day one, she wanted me out, and she was public about it. And then I eventually got her out, and we had like this like feud. She chased me around the house with pots and pans at one point in time, screaming at me because I lied and said she did something she didn't to keep myself in the game.
And you lied?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
On live television in front of
everybody saw you.
Everybody. It's noted as like a very iconic moment in the game.
So I have a question for you with that all being said, because, valid, right? But you are playing a game. And individuals, because we all are individuals and we have different like personalities. Do you think like, and what could you identify now, looking back on the outside, looking in, that mirrored Roxy to you and vice versa, that triggered you both so much that you didn't like each other? Because what they say that we usually have problems with people that are there's something about us that we don't like. And so we're acting out in other ways that we may show up or we may not, like how that person's showing up that triggers us. Is there something that you could identify at that point now that maybe you and Roxy, if she's listening out there, could amend things?
Oh, no. I've said it on multiple podcasts. I have nothing but love for Rockstar. Like we shared a very unique bond. Do I think that we'd necessarily be like the best friends in the outside world?
No, but that's not what, you know.
Yeah, like
but as far as looking in the mirror, what was the identifying factor for both of you, if you could look right now, that why you think you two butted heads?
Well, I know why she didn't like me. Her verbatim words were, I look just like every guy that bullied her in high school.
Okay, so you already had a target on your back.
Immediately. And then I was like...
And then I'm sure in some way for her, you played into what they were doing as well by maybe something that you said that you didn't know was triggering.
Probably. Yeah.
And that's why those things are, like, again, it's a her problem, and then you have your own with defending yourself, quote unquote, or whatever. Right. But they say, like, what, you know, the work on within yourself is if there's a troubling situation, it's usually identified with something we don't like about ourselves.
For me, it was just the fact that she publicly said, I want to get him out. There was nothing
so because it was a target, quote unquote, she didn't give you a chance of anything. She was assuming the punishment from other people in her past on you. And you're like, at least get me out if I did something to you.
Right. But at the end of the day, it's a game and you have to pick someone. You have to. You can't be like, hey, I'm going to be friends with everyone and nobody's going to get evicted. Everybody's going to get evicted. One person wins. You can have your ride or die who like wins next to you because the second runner up gets $50,000. It might have upped at this point in time because the total went up. It's been years since I played, but you know, everybody doesn't win. It's a game.
Inflation, you know, there's a lot of numbers. It's different these days.
COVID, you know.
For sure. So with that being said, coming in, integrating into the real world after all of that, did you see yourself kind of like playing the game not knowingly, or did it just kind of just go away because, again, you created a new habit, and the habit was being isolated. It was with those same people and those personalities, and also the fight or flight and wanting the winning kind of aspect.
Yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head. It's funny because you walk out and you think you're totally fine. You're like, no, like I'm good. Like, yeah,
because we're always okay. Good.
Yeah, like we're good. And then like 3 months goes by and you're like, dude, I was not okay then. Like I was like definitely not in a mentally okay state.
You were surviving.
And you just get into this, like, you're so used to every second of your day being recorded and on camera and on microphone, and there are no blind spots in the house, that I was almost too transparent with people at times. Like I just assumed everybody knew everything, and I was just like, fuck it. It doesn't even matter. You already knew this. Know. And like I was just telling people things like they didn't need to know, but I, like, in my brain, I thought they knew. But then you're also like sitting here enjoying a drink, like talking with people at the bar, and you're just like constantly listening to other conversations that are around you. And slowly you break out of that. But you also have this like pessimistic view where you can't take like, for example, when I walked off the show, fans were coming up like, Brett, we loved your show. It was the best season I'd ever seen. And I was just like, what's your motive? Why are you saying that what do you want from me? Because I assumed every time someone offered something that they were just trying to get something from me.
I can relate to that, myself included. Being in the adult entertainment business for me is like, okay, what do you want from me? Right. Or do you like me, or do you like who you saw on the show? Because reality is they don't know you.
Right.
They know what's been portrayed of you, and you know, myself included. So it's like, how do you know when anybody's being honest? But it's the same thing for me, like moving forward was, you don't really ever know.
No,
you know what I mean? Like it's a trial and error in everything we do, and it's just life, and that's why, you know, it's the choices that we make, the people that we surround ourselves with, and all those things that are the influences of what we kind of make our decisions for. Is you just kind of got to figure it out. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like why in some of those things like that you chose to put yourself in, and being young, but not knowing the outcome and knowing how that would affect your life now. I'm sure you still get people come up to you and be like, hey, I love your episode, or hey, whatever. And like, you've done so many other things.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you're like, I forgot about that. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing da-da-da-da. Or not that you forgot, but like of why someone would be so fascinated about you. And then like the fan base continues. And then you have the ones in the other spectrum where it's like, watch every single thing you do, that know from a detail to time. Sometimes with myself, I'm like, man, I forgot I did that. Or I didn't even know. Like, yeah, that's cool. I did do that. You know what I mean? So then there's like refreshers. You're like, and it's humbling, you know, at least for myself.
Totally. And for example, like me as well, we had 100 days of filming. Imagine 24 hours around the clock, 100 days. It's a lot of time. I said a lot of fucking things and I did a lot of things.
Do you regret any of it?
No.
Is there anything that a moment that maybe that was like, that's not what I meant, or it was portrayed a certain way, or like, are you just, fuck it, this is who I am?
No, I'm good. I feel like, you know, in the beginning, I was a little bit jaded, the edit that I got in the beginning, but I was able to redeem myself over time. Fortunately, like I came out boisterous, just like douchebag frat guy was the edit that I got. And obviously like I played to them.
Is that your lifestyle, like in the beginning from at that point, or is that just something that it was easy to target on your back?
I would say that they turned a 20% of me into 100% of me. You know what I mean?
So they saw what they could amp up to make
it totally.
TV. I mean, it's, at the end of the day, it's still TV.
Right. And a lot of people forget, even though it's reality TV, people forget at the end of the day, this is a television show. Like when I signed that contract, it's not a game, it's a television show.
Do they put on like things where, you know, make you like put people against each other in the house, or is it just the kind of a free for all? Is there any kind of things that are pitted against, or? It
would be naive to say that there's no producer influence, but Big Brother's a very difficult game to influence because of the way it's designed. One, it's live. Two, like no, like on other shows, like you break. You're like, okay, even on reality TV shows, like you know when you're on camera and you know when you're not on camera.
Hours to what you're shooting.
Right. And then there's times where like you guys are like hanging out and talking off a camera. Where in Big Brother, there is no moment of break, so there is no way
so
for...
They capitalize where it's like Big Brother After Dark.
Right. Right, exactly. That's the whole pitch here. So it's a very difficult game because it's really trying to tame like 16 wild animals that are just locked in a cage together. And you're like, hey, but... That's
a good analogy.
They're absolutely positioning certain questions. You go into the diary room, and that's the only time that you're alone. You're not really alone. You're talking to producers over a microphone.
But where the people that you're in the house with can't hear you.
Right. That's the only time that you can truly say how you feel. So it was almost like a therapy session. You're just like, fuck, man. And you just like let it out about all these people because you're also playing a game. So like someone, you know, doesn't wash their dishes or leaves a mess in the bedroom, or because there's no dishwasher. You have to cook, you have to clean, someone doesn't clean the bathroom, someone, you know, just whatever is just annoying you all day and won't leave you alone. Like, even if you're mad at someone, there is no distance. It's like, okay, cool, I'm mad at you. I'm going to sit on this side of the couch instead of this side of the couch.
And it's like also one of those things that's like, there's nowhere to go. There's no outlet. There's no nothing. There's no like literally like, it's like going back to like when you're a kid. Like it's just like you're stuck.
Right.
And if people who don't and realize that maybe some things are triggers, then you watch them deteriorate throughout the timing of those 100 days.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then you see how people act.
You can't act fake for 100 days, 24 hours a day.
No, because people break.
For sure.
Because people who are always acting too, it's, you know, that's only a facade for so long. And then, you know, the real things happen and tears and, you know, outrage. Everybody has a trigger. You know, the thing is, that's why I think is like people are human.
See, for me, I feel
and that's why it's such an unpredictable game. I feel like because, like you said, it is not like you can't influence, but it's also could be influenced from day to day.
Right, and you also like, for example, when you're nominated to be evicted, you get an opportunity to give a speech, like your last like Hail Mary to everyone. Hey, this is why you should keep me because of X, Y, and Z. And when you're watching TV, you're like, okay, cool. You're just standing in a room with, you know, depending on what the numbers are, 15 other people. That doesn't seem that intimidating, but like, you're still on live television ranging from 3 to 10 million viewers. But do you
think about that though? Because at a certain time, like, doesn't it just become your life because it's just your everyday where, yeah, you could see the lights, but even like with me in porn, at a certain time of my career, I could do it with my eyes closed and I knew exactly what I needed to do because I knew where the camera people were. I knew what I needed, how much time it was needed. You know, obviously different scenarios, but it's like it becomes a routine.
Yes,
you know
and
what I
no.
mean?
So yes and no. So like 95% of the show, yes, where you're just like living your day to day, you get used to it. But come Thursday night, it's live. You can hear the crowd.
Because you can see it or hear it.
You can hear them on the, so like there is a live portion of the show. So whoever gets evicted walks out to a live crowd, but you can hear the rumble.
Okay.
And it like builds
up.
The
anticipation of like, what's this really going to end like?
And everything is 10 times longer than you think it is. Like you'll watch something and it'll be literally 30 seconds of film. And we were waiting there for like 4 hours, and then we got one little bit, and that was it.
Was there ever a moment that you broke?
No.
No, you stood
No.
strong.
I was designed for this show.
Were you?
I really was.
That's a very big plaque for yourself.
I really was. Like, I pride myself. I was the only one that didn't cry the entire season.
Did you ever cry by yourself?
Of course.
You just didn't do it on camera.
Yeah.
So when you went to like go to the bathroom, you had a moment.
There are cameras in the bathroom. There is no blind
Where'd
spot
you
in
cry?
the house. I didn't cry in the house.
But you said you cried by yourself.
Oh, I mean, not because of the show, but I thought you were asking, like, have I ever cried before?
No, I'm just saying, like, on the show, it's like, obviously
no.
there's certain things that people do it in the confessionals, like outbursts that things happen or whatever. And it's just like, is there a moment where it's like, I'm very good. I have a poker face. Nobody knows. And I've had breakdowns and I'm just like, okay, got it. We're coming back. Nobody knows what's going on. And sometimes that's what you got to do, but they're in the bathroom as well.
No, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like every morning I would take a leak looking at the camera and I'd be like,
you just start talking to somebody?
Whoever's there, good morning. I know you're looking at my wiener every morning. How you doing?
But I'm sure that's also what's made you so successful now, integrating in your life and like the whole influencer world that we live in.
Yeah.
And how have you made that into success now? What are you currently doing and working on?
So it was a lot of things, but it was funny that you made the analogy of like Big Brother's like living in Hollywood or living in LA.
It is.
It's very much.
Yeah. After watching this show, I was just like, it's a dog-eat-dog world, and that's everywhere. But it's that's why amplified. I said, how do you deal with the emotion of playing that game on an intensity that it is, because you know that there is a monetary thing and the reward is why you're doing it.
Right.
And you realize when you come out into the world, and usually in those limelight things, it's LA, you stay here or whatever, it's the same thing. So then it's like, when do you feel like you're stopped playing the game, or do you, or have you? You know what I mean? Like there's been time you've been off the show and, you know, and you integrate whatever, but like in reality, you're still really playing Big Brother.
In a weird little way you are, but there's like times where you're professional, you're not, it's, you know, in LA, you collab, right? You collab with all these other influencers and you meet all these other people. And there's times where it's like, okay, this is my job. I'm professional. I'm going on set. I'm going to act professional. I'm going to do what I need to do. And then you're like, okay, this is when I'm not working. And you need to like really identify that. And you still got to try and be like, okay, Monday through Friday, I'm working. And on the weekend, I'm going to relax, even though it's very intertwined and it doesn't work.
And that's
easy.
why I feel like, and you're, you know, we had this debate about your age before we started the podcast, about you're still young in this world of, in this world that you live in, you play in, whatever, it's very networking. It's on, off all the time. But what you realize when you evolve in things and just where you are in your life or age or whatever they may be is the boundaries and space of what it is. Because for me, I'm genuinely how I am right now is how I am in my real life. Yeah. I'm very straightforward. I'm blunt. Some people don't like what I say, but it's never with the intention to hurt somebody's feelings. It's just my honest truth. But in my work world, I was the same way. So it was hard when it wasn't received sometimes in certain things, because you can't just always get along with everybody. Where to integrate that?
I feel like I feel like especially in your field though, you needed to be that straightforward and blunt, right?
100. And I think that with myself, I kind of feel like, I can't say I had it easy and everything, but I was also married for a majority of the portion of when I was in the industry. And my ex-husband was in the industry, so they respected him. So I never got a lot of the other things that I had heard from other girls or whatever. Right. And not saying, you know, and I believe that it would be true. Who knows what my situation would be different if I wasn't in that thing, who knows? And again, after me getting divorced, I was still in the industry, and certain people say things, but at that level, it's like there's an intimidation about, they don't know, so they're usually probably not going to try it unless it's in my face, and then I'm kind of an asshole if you know what I mean? I have like my mother would say, a resting bitch face, but I'm like, it's on purpose, because who wants to break those walls down and speak to me will, and I'm very nice and I'm humble, I'm Southern, but if you want to be a dick to me, I can put you in your place too, so don't try me. Right. Like, you know what I mean? No, I
think you hit the nail on the head. Like, I like the spot where you said, like, you have, like, I feel like because of Big Brother and because of that, I evolved into, like, being more blunt and more honest and more straightforward about certain things that I used to be so uncomfortable. Like, I would just avoid a conversation.
I feel like from the outside looking, I feel like it was maybe something that you always wanted, like you said, your friends didn't think it was so far-fetched that you went, whatever, and you have a personality, but it was an easier way for you, like, this just is who I am.
Yeah.
And not knowing that there would be repercussion, but just be like, and when you can be genuinely, authentically yourself, and also having a platform when like Big Brother portraying it for you, where you're not having to do the marketing, the this or whatever, and people authentically attached to you, it's a good feeling. So like, it only motivates you more to go on afterwards.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's like why I feel like I was saying, like, integrating into the content world is probably a little easier, is because like you said, there's cameras 24/7, where some people can't get behind the camera and turn it on and be like, oh, I sound silly, or oh, whatever. Like you've already worked out those kinks where it makes it a little bit easier to just be yourself and kind of like figure out what you wanted to do from the beginning. But Big Brother maybe kind of amplified to where that's at.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I think it just finally allowed me to evolve into who I actually am.
So who are you actually, Brett? Tell Private Talk. We want to know.
Deep conversations.
Of course, that's what we do here at Private Talk.
Listen, like I absolutely, I think I take a very similar approach to what you do, but I do it in a different way. Instead of like necessarily like a resting bitch face, I kind of have this douchebag persona initially, but it's all in just good fun. But like, I like to consider myself as more like a lovable douchebag. Like as long as you can pick up on my humor and like my jokes and like my brashness, like I at no means like actually want to hurt anyone's feelings. Like I'm not actually malicious. I just have a stupid sense of humor. And if you just tell me to shut up, I will. But I'm also just very blunt and outgoing and fun. And I like to think that I bring an energy that a lot of people enjoy. Like I like to think that it's like really like lightens the room up a bit. And it's an energy that like a lot of uncomfortable situations, it just helps ease through it.
I can get to that to a point. I have a little, apprehensions on certain things. But again, it's a generation that we live in. You know what I mean? And again, like, I feel like what you do and like all the stuff, like the TikTok, like lightheartedness of all of that, it's about people take life too serious. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And like for me, sometimes it's like I can also, that I know I'm an alpha female, I come across really strong sometimes. But it's, again, if we have a conversation, everything I'm doing, I'm always like, I am mom people sometimes that I have to like check myself. I'm like, okay, maybe they don't really want to hear that or like whatever. Right. But it comes from that place where it's like sometimes at the same time too, is somebody tells me, hey, I don't want to hear that right now. I got to respect the same thing what I'm saying to you is, and be able to like take the vice versa. So it's like what the joking is like my humor sometimes not always received. And then I'm just like, okay, but if you would have told me like, okay, bitch, no, or called me out, I wouldn't be mad.
Right.
But in the world we live in, it's just like how much you test somebody until what's the humor. Cause there is humor in everything. Just like there's good and bad in everything.
I feel like
it's
the
just
world's
how
so sensitive though.
For me, it's about the delivery of it. Everything for me is about the messages. What you're saying, everything is great. There should be the vice versa. It's just like, the line that we cross of who's being a dick and who's not. You know what I mean? And again, everyone, perception is everything. You know what I mean? As long as we're all having fun and when it is, fuck it.
I'm always, I probably have too much fun.
You have too much fun? What's the most fun thing that you've done since you've been in LA?
Oh, the most fun thing.
Something that you're just like either called somebody and was like, oh my God, or not even called, it just was like, fuck, is this my life right now? Like,
since being, I guess, so what I've done actually in LA that's fun, or since being in LA that was fun?
I mean, isn't that the same thing?
No, I mean, I wasn't in LA when it happened, but it was like since I've been in LA.
Since you've been in LA. Like since you've moved here, that you made it official to be like
LA
stay
resident.
here.
Yeah. I had a pretty fucking wild New Year's.
Okay.
It was actually
this is the current New Year's.
Like 28 days ago.
28 days. He knows the fucking number. I love it. Private Talk. Okay, 28 days ago was an epic time.
It was absolutely out of control.
Can we know?
Of course. Yeah, of course. So I flew into Vegas with one of my best friends, Masha, who lives there. She was on Tiger King. She's an absolutely beautiful looking supermodel lady, but she's like one of my best friends and a group of people there. We grabbed dinner with Dan Bilzerian, who ends up being like one of the nicest guys ever, like super down to earth, like way different than he's depicted online. But hey, like we all have our online persona, like live your life. Super cool. We grabbed dinner at Catch, and somehow we ended up at Hakkasan, but Hakkasan, like the entire casino, like the power went out. And we were the only ones so we luckily like hop on Dan's bus and we sneak out of MGM and we run over to Resort World. So we're at Zouk at Resort World and we're fucking just popping off, just doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing until
New Year's,
until 4 a.m. And my friend Amy, who's working at the time, or sorry, my friend Mary, who's working at the time, sneaks us this like $15,000 bottle of Ace of Spades. I'm fucked up. I naturally was like, I'm gonna spray this.
Oh, that does not sound like the right thing to do, Brett.
But it was like more. I was
naturally,
like, I was like,
I am gonna waste the $15,000 because okay, all right.
So I it was more like I was kidding, like I was gonna spray it, but like once it starts foaming, there's no going back, and I was like, all right, it's already
don't
going.
You know this?
It's already happening.
It's like pre-cum. You can't take it back.
Yeah, no, it's
like,
out there.
It's gone. It doesn't come back inside your body.
Doesn't.
As much as y'all try, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. And then we're like, hey, we're just like we're not done with the night. Like it's New Year's Eve.
What time is this right now?
This is 4:30 in the morning.
Okay, it's Vegas, typical.
Yeah, no big deal. So we're like, all right, we're gonna pop over to. I for whatever reason had a stack of Crazy Horse ones that I just never spent.
It just so happens I haven't.
I just never spent them. I had like $500.
But who travels with them?
I keep them at my buddy's house in Vegas.
Oh,
I was
just
like,
for special moments like this.
Well, because they make you, when you go there, like you have to turn them into Crazy Horse dollars and you can never spend them anywhere else.
Oh, they get you.
I know. So it's like, fuck, like I have to use these. Like I'm never going to use these.
How long were they sitting in the safe?
They had been there for a minute. They were literally, the funny thing is my friend actually thought they were fake cash for a while. He had no clue it was like real.
So what are you
doing? I mean, it is fake cash. But like,
Crazy Horse dollars are just circulating around Vegas and LA.
Yeah, exactly. So we go to Crazy Horse. We end up at Crazy Horse until 8:30 in the morning. We're like, I'm still not done.
So what does one do at 8, like till 4 to 8 a.m. in Crazy Horse? For private talk listeners out there, what does people do there? Like, do you just drink? You spectate?
Yeah, you get bottle. You get a table. It's like a regular club. Like you can get a table and you can get bottles. You can go to the back room.
But why do you and your friends go on a New Year's to just not talk to these ladies? Are you talking about their taxes, their plans for 22?
There was no tax talk. There was no tax talk at all. At least not with me.
No. What was your talk to them?
There are just some moments that are so special. You
just keep
have
to
to
yourself.
keep.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Stays in Vegas, or it shows up in the podcast.
Okay, so you. Okay, so
we're
dances.
Done. Dances.
I know how Crazy
rooms.
Horse goes because Crazy Horse, they're very aggressive. And especially when you have $5,000 fucking worth of crazy bucks, whatever the fuck they're called. Because I know, I've been there. I've been to these events. Go figure. They get aggressive. So I'm like, okay, baby girl, let's talk about it. You just at the end of that, I'm just like, take it. I don't know what you want to do. What do you want from me? But yeah. So okay, Crazy Horse.
Okay, so we're not done.
I'm waiting.
No.
I'm not.
I'm explaining. We're not even done with the night. We're like, okay,
at 8 a.m.
Yeah, we're gonna go to brunch.
Where?
Right? So we go back to the Wynn. Wynn has
Great
phenomenal brunch.
Best brunch.
And you think it's bottomless mimosas, but they put. I found the bottom. I found the bottom of the mimosa. They
At the Wynn, we found the bottom.
The great bottom of the mimosa. What? And they put a 90-minute limit on you. So like, all right, you can do as much
because
as
of
you want.
COVID times.
Yeah, whatever. So we're like, they kick us out, and I was like,
maybe because they were like, y'all are fucking drunk, and we know you've been from the club to the here. You got crazy bucks still on your fucking forehead. You're not allowed.
They wouldn't let me tip with the crazy bucks, so naturally we came back in for another 90 minutes. We did 2 90-minute rounds.
Oh, they hated you then.
Yeah, no, they wanted no more of me. They were like, this guy's got to go.
Did you at least tip them well?
Of course.
I hope so. If y'all are out there and he didn't, please comment below and let me know because these crazy bugs are not for sale.
No, those were all gone by 8 a.m. And then naturally it's time to nap for a few hours.
Oh, just nap. Did you have the IV sent to your room?
No, actually. No, we just kept riding through.
Kudos. Okay.
Just that natural young energy.
That word has been in for season 3. I don't know where I got it from. Private talk. I don't know. I really hate it. Just to let y'all know. Okay, but all right. So
fortunately,
how long was your nap?
4 hours.
Oh, okay. Good nap.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, what happened? I interrupted.
No, so fortunately, I had a good friend of mine who was staying at Resort World. Let me crash at the room for a few hours. I wake up and I had another good friend of mine that was like,
You got a lot of good friends, Brett.
well, I got a lot of good friends, you know, I got a lot of good friends. I guess I'll just say, so my good friend Tana Mojo was in town that weekend and I saw her Friday night, but I had no clue that she, like, I swear to God, I'm at the club and I was like, that looks just like my friend Tana. And then the next day I was like, holy fuck, that was my friend Tana.
Is this how a love match happened?
That is actually exactly how it happened.
And then a beautiful romance happened out of the you not knowing, but you knew it was your friend's.
No. So I hit her up the next day and I was like, oh my God, I was 2 feet away from you last night and I didn't know. And
so y'all didn't have an exchange of words.
You
just knew she was at that. Okay.
No, I didn't. So the next day I was like, oh my God, that was her. So I immediately texted her and I was like, wow, we were 2 feet away apart on New Year's Eve and we didn't even see each other. I mean, I saw you, but you didn't see me. And she immediately was like, where are you? I'm coming to get you right now.
Oh, I love it.
And then we just proceeded on for another 3 days.
Okay. Proceeded on means like love making. Y'all just went on the town to Vegas. Y'all went to Crazy Horse again. What is that proceeded to be?
I'd be happy if I never went to Crazy Horse ever again.
That's cute though. I love that. I am a sucker for like romantic stories. Not that like a fairy tale thing, whatever, but things that happen in the right timing. You know what I mean? Like you said, maybe because you were already fucked up, you had your own thing, whatever, you talking to her wasn't the right time, but it gave you enough like amp to say like, oh wait, we were in the same situation and like whatever. And so she was feeling the same vibe. So it was like the
funniest thing about it though, the irony in it is that one, prior to that, we had never actually planned to hang out. We just kept running into each other. Mm-hmm. And then two, the only thing we did plan was that we should do something together for New Year's Eve. And it was supposed to be in LA. And we just never communicated about it. I went to Vegas and she spur of the moment went to the Vegas and it just ended up the fact that we
serendipitous.
Yes.
So you got your 2022 kiss.
On the first.
I mean, it still is.
It's
counts. Valid. You didn't kiss anybody else, so it was the first kiss.
Right. Yeah, that's correct.
So that's like your it's like your love story. The beginning of your love story.
Yes. Yeah.
That's awesome. Congrats. You know, some things happen when you don't realize it's gonna happen, but it sounds like right time, all those things. So Valentine's Day is coming up. Do you have any special plans for her?
Oh man. Well,
no pressure, Brett. No pressure.
I wouldn't want to spoil it, you know?
Well, this is not going to air before Valentine's Day, so you can spoil it to us all you want. We're not live. You can spill the beans.
There's no, obviously flowers, maybe something romantic.
But because of like who she is, and like I don't know her, but I know like she's really big in like the social media world, and she's like a boss bitch. Like to me, I just see like business. Like there's not a lot of women that do things that she does, and I'm just like I love all of it. So I don't fully know, but I like it from afar. Like I know similar people that know him, but for something like her, like a woman like her, and you having your own fame. Do you feel like a standard of where you have to live up to, or do you just still kind of just doing what you do?
I guess the funniest thing about it is, so like I'm super new to LA. Like I've been here 3 months. I know nothing. She's a vet. She's been here 8 years. So she'll like say like very LA things, and I'll be like, "What is that? Where do you want to go?"
You're like, I've never heard of that. She's like, what do you mean? It's been around for a long time.
She thinks it's like the cutest thing in the world. She's like, I love that you haven't been tainted by LA yet. She's like, the fact that you don't know what boa is the most adorable thing I've ever heard in my life.
But that's what I think is a great love story too, is like, because she doesn't care that you don't. No. And like, she's not too LA to be like, oh, whatever, and again, I don't know her from anything, so I can't say that she would even say that. But just hearing the dialogue or whatever is cool, because it's like, maybe people would expect that, but because even though whatever, she's just like, oh, I want to show you, and that to me is such like a romantic thing, is because like maybe she's not impressed by people who are like, oh, let's take her to boa, but that's why you guys it's different, and that's exciting to be like, oh, let's show you, so like next time you go to boa, and like you feel it's your thing.
No, it's funny because like 25-year-old Brett would have been like, okay, fuck, like I gotta text every one of my friends that's ever been to LA and ask like, what's the cool restaurant? Like,
let me Google it,
let me
guys.
Like Google all this, and I'm like, I gotta be like really cool, and I gotta go buy like a Balenciaga jacket, and like I gotta like do all this like seem like super cool, And I never did any of that. And I was like, I just fucking moved here and I don't know anything. And she's done nothing but like take me under her wing and like show me the city.
Yeah.
But it's like our running joke is like, she'll like say a restaurant and like, I'll just make up a new, like I just like make fun of the name of it. All these places. Like, is this real? Like, are these real names? She's like, I don't know. There's some, I want to say like a Japanese cuisine restaurant. I always call it Matsuitsu something. Batsuitsu, but I just like make fun of the names of everywhere that she like invites me to, and she thinks it's funny, I guess.
I mean, you're 3 months in,
Yeah.
3 months in telly, yeah. I feel you. I'm a Texas girl myself, but yeah, definitely not how you say it. But I like but I like that you try. But again, I definitely hope to meet her one day. But I love the fact that you guys, it just seems authentic and real and. Good for you. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Like we live in a world that it's like, it's uncertain to anything, but and it's like, as long as you could be honest about like what you need from her and what it is like from the gate is you're like you said, I'm not trying to lie and say I know it. I didn't Google it. I just telling you my truth. And she loves that. So stick with that. And I think it'll be successful.
Thank you.
Success. That's all you want. So we're going to play a game that I don't know if you're ready for.
Okay.
Do you, you've seen a little bit of Private Talk.
Yeah.
You don't. I don't think you like got to the point where you got to Truth with Texas. That was like the last part. Most people just watch the beginning. But I feel like you're kind of like, up for a challenge. You did Big Brother. Why couldn't you pass Private Talk with Alexis, Texas? You know what I mean?
I'm terrified, but I'm also eager.
Terrified. What? What's the terrified part? Let's talk
Because
more
you
about
got a little bit of a twinkle in your eye, like something's.
And that's just the like Puerto Rican Gemini in me. There's a lot of twinkle in my eye. Just a lot of things. It's just because that's my favorite part. It's
okay.
Like it gets to people. We didn't know each other in the beginning of the conversation. That's why it's Private Talk. We had a little bit more. Got to know you a bit more. Now we got to know about your relationship, and so I feel like it's a perfect segue into knowing who you really are. Truth with Texas is a little bit more spicy. Your fans want to know some questions.
Okay.
So are you ready, Brett?
I'm ready.
All right. We've got 4 cards.
Okay.
Each card is an ace. Each suit is a different type of question.
Okay.
And we're going to ask you some multiple questions. I like how you had to take a drink. You
Yeah.
want to take a shot before we do this?
I would love to.
Okay, let's take a break and then we'll get to the game.
Perfect.
All right, Private Talk, we are back and we are about to play Truth with Texas, my favorite game. I feel like we're warmed up now. We took a shot, got the tequila flowing. I feel like you would have been okay without it, but let's see. So each ace suit is a different type of question. So pick one and let me know what you have, and let's get to these questions.
Okay.
You can move that out of your way if you want.
Ooh, ace of spades.
Ooh, my favorite, the naughty question. We're all a little naughty, so this is just the warm up of everything. Have you ever made a woman squirt?
Yes.
How did that action happen? Was it like,
It was with my penis.
With your penis. That's a magical thing because, some people it can't happen sexually. Sometimes it usually happens just foreplay wise because of fun, like a finger thing,
Right.
Special type of woman. Spit or swallow? Do you like your lady to spit or swallow?
I would prefer swallow.
Be a good girl. Lube or spit?
Like be a good girl. Oh, lube or spit? It depends what you're doing.
Describe a situation.
I mean, like, you can probably get away with just spit if you're having sex, but like, if you're
doing
gonna do
other
anal,
exploratory things.
yeah, if you're gonna do any, which I haven't done in so long, I don't even remember, but
many moons ago.
many moons ago, but yeah.
Have you ever used a toy during intercourse?
No.
Never. Would you be up to it?
I'd be open to it.
Have you ever faked an orgasm?
I don't think guys can do that.
They do. It's funny you say it like that because when I heard this from a male, I was shocked. And then I was like, when he talked about it, he's like, oh, what are you thinking about all the people who you think would have done it to you? And I'm like, yeah, but I don't think it could happen. But apparently it does happen because sometimes people have been just like either they couldn't come or whatever, so they faked it, and like or they've been either too drunk, high, whatever, and they just did it because they didn't want to keep going or hurt her feelings.
Right. No, I would just be like, listen, baby, it's not happening.
Not tonight.
I'll say I have been drunk enough that I couldn't finish, but I was like, listen, like we're just humping like gorillas right now. So
you've had this conversation.
Oh yeah,
multiple times.
Yeah, I've been like, it's just not like I'm just too fucked up.
Situation that happens with you, Brett?
No, not all. I mean, like, listen, I'm an old man now.
Old man, you're 29. Get out of here. You're not even 30 yet, and you can't say old man. You may that. Let's be That means your dick has either ran through a lot of things that you feel or you just feel like that, but you're 29. So if the latter is not the situation, wake up.
I'm awake.
Are you woke?
I am woke. I am woke.
Woke.
But no, I have never faked an orgasm. I would just.
But I like that you're honest to a situation that you're like, hey, it's just not going to happen, or at least you tried. Good effort. Good.
Listen, like
you're doing good, sweetie, but it's just not tonight.
Right.
Try me.
Right. Be like, promise we can try in the morning. But I'm fully torqued.
I respect that more than the faked orgasm. Even though at the time the younger me would be like, fuck you, you fucking asshole, something's wrong with you, because I would feel like it was my problem, but.
If that happened sober, I would understand that. Yeah,
but the girl who's doing that with you doesn't understand where your mind is. She's in her own situation.
I mean, I feel like more women have difficulty coming than men, right?
Yeah,
so I feel like they would be more understanding to a guy not being able to finish. No?
Men coming is something that is more apparent that you have to physically see in the sense, right? Or know that that's happening. So I feel like that's why the disappointment may be a little more. But I feel like even just coming in general like that isn't talked about enough. And that's why I applaud the communication part of it. But it's like there's further more to this investigation. You just can't stop here. This is not Dateline, but
I listen, I can promise you'll know that I gave it my good old fashioned college try. I'll be dripping sweat. I'll be ready to rock and roll.
Just because you're sweating, Brett, doesn't mean shit.
It means a lot of effort.
Is your sauna suit on or not? What are we talking about? You're out of control. What's your favorite place to have sex?
Ooh, I love having sex in the shower,
really?
but debatably, like,
why?
They're also.
And how?
Is
there like one where you're just crazy in the shower? Like, there's a lot of slippery things going on there.
I know. You're just like living life dangerously.
Yeah, but sometimes the slippage isn't like the slippage you need. It's like deterrent from things going on.
Agreed.
So explain the shower, please.
I guess the reason I like the shower is I typically.
I'm sorry for you, Tana. Please, I hope you have like pull thingies or like hand grip like rails for you to hold on to. So slippery when wet is really real at y'all's house.
I feel like I always like to shower afterwards, anyways. And I feel like there's like something
you can't
like
do a drive-by 2-for-1. No. Do not be a lazy fucker.
I got head and shoulders at home. I got the 2-for-1.
Cool for you, for your head and your shoulders, homie. But your head and your other shoulder needs to be in.
I would say, like I like shower sex, but I would say actually, like my favorites. I don't want to say favorite, but like my like naughty spot. Like I love having car sex.
What kind of car sex? Like just head, or y'all actually fucking?
No, like actually fucking. I'm pretty sure in high school. I only had sex in cars. Well,
because there's no other place to do it.
I know. Well, I mean, maybe if you had like cool parents like that let you do it in your bed or something.
Who really has those? They're rare commodities. In their bed, that's out of control.
Listen, I'm not their parent. It's not my job. I'm just saying and now that like I'm obviously we're old enough that like we can have people sleep over, we can do whatever we want. Now it's just kind of like
you don't have to be shady about it.
You're just like living but you're like living a pastime, you know? You're like back in high school.
When's the last time you had car sex?
It's been a while, like a long time. I actually don't even remember.
Do you only do like one position during car sex, or do you do multiples?
I guess it depends how long it's lasting.
How have you ever sat on a girl's face?
Sat on a girl's face?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no.
But you thought about it, so there's some truth to it.
I mean, like, are we talking about like face fucking, or are we talking about like sitting on their face?
Like a Froggy style type of situation.
No Froggy here.
Like, and especially not in a car.
Not anywhere.
I'm just saying, I had somebody tell me this happened to them in the car, and you said car sex, so it brought me back to that situation. Okay. She said that he did a Froggy style in the backseat of a car, and I was like, how does that happen in a car?
What was she doing? What was she
eating his ass.
Okay, gotcha.
Because she's like, I didn't want to, but then he just did it, and then I felt expected to because
you just forced it there.
Not that, and also like she was there to fuck, but like she didn't know that was gonna happen. So then it was just, and I was like, but in a car, I would be like, I was like, I would just laugh. Like for me, I laugh at uncomfortable situations anyways. Right. But I'm like, what are you doing? And absolutely not. This is not happening. But she was down.
What kind of car were we talking here? Are we talking about like a Suburban?
No, it was AMG, like a G-Wagon.
Oh, I mean, at least it's big. Like
it had a back seat, but not like it was crazy room. Like it was still to say Froggy style is a situation.
I don't want to say like your friend's fibbing, but like
no, she did not fib.
It takes a little coercion to work together to like.
No, she was laying on the seat. He told her what to do. He told her to lay down on the seat.
Oh, so she just followed instructions.
Yeah, she was being a good girl. That is that. There was no fibbing about anything. I
thought you meant like middle of intercourse. This guy just jumps up and Froggy sits on her face.
Who does that? I mean, the whole Froggy situation.
It didn't make sense to me.
The whole Froggy situation was weird to me too. But no, it was like because she was going on his instructions, you know what I mean? So obviously that was his thing.
Yeah.
But I was like, she was like, I never went back again. I was like, girl, I don't blame you, but yeah, no, I could not condone the Froggy style in the back seat. No. But and then other people on the show have talked about where he's first had been just sitting on the face, but then he said it was like a little leg up in the whole situation. He went back like Lamborghini doors. I mean, it's been a thing. So don't act like it's like unheard of. It's like, that's why I said, like, have you like...
I don't think that's unheard of, but it was more like in the car. Like that.
Well, that was the added, like, my story line, you know what I mean? But I was just saying as far as like, have you sat on somebody's face? No. Like, as far as like, No
face sitting.
No face sitting?
I usually just flip the roll. So you're
eating ass yourself.
Sure.
You're all about it. Have you ever had a boner in public?
I think that's not the right answer. Yes. The answer is
Have you ever had sex in public?
Have I ever had sex I'm sure I have. I'm just trying to technically having sex in your car is having sex in public.
True. But outside your car, apparently your car was a frequent offender. Like how I labeled that?
No, I heard.
I just said, did you like how I labeled it? But, I mean, have you been like a Mile High Club? Have you been outside sex? Like, I don't know, balcony, beach, anything spontaneous?
I'm
giving you lots of ideas for you and Tana. I'm giving you ideas.
I thought I was like super cool. When I was 18, I went to Jamaica. Okay. I was with my family. I was 18. I was still in high school.
And you were out looking 18. For pussy at 18.
And I was just trolling, And I did, to this day, I guess it was, I pulled a 29-year-old and we had sex on the beach. Yeah. But it was in Jamaica. So I don't know what the rules are there, but that's pretty public.
Yeah. I was just trying to put it in perspective because you're 29 now.
Well, no, so I know. Like that's why I'm trying. So
that's why I was thinking in my head. I'm like, not because it's like a crazy, but it's crazy because it's like on the beach. But I'm just saying, as far as like your age, I was like 29 and 18.
It was really crazy because I realized like I was there with on a family vacation.
Where was your family? Asleep?
Yeah, at the time, I don't know, like my brother. I don't
Allegedly.
know what we were doing. Yeah, they were sleeping doing something, and I end up pulling.
But you had
I'm out
no
drinking
fucks because they were not going to be by the beach with you.
No. Like they were in bed. I was out drinking because you could legally drink at 18 there. So I was out drinking. I think my older brother was out running around doing the same thing. I do this, and I'll never forget though. Like the next day, like I'm back in. Even though like you're an adult, but like you're still like a kid. You know what I mean? Like
I have a 26-year-old brother. I get it. He's still not an adult in my eyes, but he is.
Right.
Got it.
So the next morning I wake up, brunch. I'm literally at brunch with my family, and I see the 29-year-old, and she's just like,
with her with her husband and baby.
yeah, like she's just like, oh my God.
Did she really have a husband and baby?
I don't know what she had, but
probably
she was not. I'll tell you this: she was not there. She was not there with her family. She was there with like a bunch of other 29-year-olds, like adults. Like this was like an adult vacation, and she fucked me. And the next day, like I just remember being like trying to like avoid this situation, like that I'm like.
But
actually
why aren't you supposed to be in a boastful like thing for you, or is it because she's shaming you and not claiming you? Is why you feel like
a little bit of all. Even though she was the one out of line, like I felt like I was out of line. Like,
you're like, I just fucked somebody's mother?
No. It wasn't like I fucked someone's mother, but it was more like.
But you don't know.
I wanted to be cool. Like, I wanted to be cool.
Yeah, but
like,
she was with her other friends, and she was like,
and I
don't know this
and I was the kid. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. But like we had this like I moment where I was like, oh man, like I wanted to be cooler than like being with my family, but she wanted to be like, I didn't just bang this kid with his family.
I'm surprised you didn't walk up to her and her whole friends. You were 18.
29 now, looking back, I wish I did. But like as an 18-year-old kid, like I was just like scared. I was just
my mom's gonna be so mad at me.
Like I was just a scared boy.
29-year-old.
I was just a scared boy.
All right, scared boy. Are you ready for the next card? All these gems are coming out. You didn't know, huh? Ace of
clubs.
Kinky question.
Oh boy.
Favorite time of day to have sex? Are you a night owl? Like you like it early in the morning? Does it matter? Ready to roll?
I mean, there's nothing better than starting off your day with sex. And it's also probably the only thing that'll get me out of bed on time.
On time? You said that make people late.
No, I know, but like I'll happily wake up early to have sex. Like if like you know what I mean, like where like I'll sleep through an alarm and be late for something. But like if I know I'm gonna have sex, but if we're fucking, like I'll get up. I'm putting in overtime. Like I'm getting up ripe and early.
Ever been caught masturbating?
Yeah.
By? Can we hear his story?
By my ex-girlfriend. Yeah, one time.
Was she big mad?
No, we ended up fucking after, but yeah, I will never. Oh my God.
What were you do? Like, can you explain this scenario?
It was pretty standard.
Like, were you watching porn and she walked in and was like, "Hey, what are you doing? And why am I not included?
And why are you butt naked, twerked on the bed?" Yeah.
You were twerked. Explain.
I was erect.
Oh, I thought you meant like
twerk.
Like
no.
I thought you meant like you were twerking. I'm
no,
like, what?
No.
Why are you twerking on the bed,
twerk.
Brett?
So like, yeah, like I was butt naked on my bed. Like I don't know if I was like about to get in the shower or what I was doing. And I remember,
by Brett.
But I just
told them this going on.
And I just remember like she was so mortified that she caught me that she just
What kind of porn were you watching? Was it Alexis, Texas?
Maybe it was.
I don't.
This is back in.
You never saw my porn before you knew you were coming on the podcast.
No, I knew who you were. Listen,
does that
I was
mean,
in a fraternity. I know you. I knew your porn.
What does that mean when you're like, I knew who you were? Does that mean like I've jerked off to you?
No, actually, I don't think I have.
So exactly. So
but you're like like you're an icon. Like I was in a fraternity.
I'm an icon living.
Yes, absolutely. You're absolutely an icon. Like I knew who you, like when I got asked about this podcast, it was like, you want to do Alexis Texas podcast? And I literally go, the Alexis, I'll show the text. I swear to God. I go, the Alexis Texas. And they're like, yes. And I was like, you're fucking with me right now.
That's hilarious because I've had some people before and they're like, I thought it was a fake. And I'm like, why would someone fake be Alexis Texas? So I had to come around. I'm like, that makes no sense, but thanks for coming. But yeah, that's hilarious. So you knew, but you didn't know. But
no, I knew.
But you didn't jerk off to it, you said.
No, I hadn't. But I knew. Like,
don't get nervous now, Brad. Now that you introduced him, you're getting redder and redder over there. I don't know. It's just like
it's the lights and the booze.
Together. I don't know what's.
It's the lights and it's the booze.
Cheers.
And
so
Southerners always look each other in the eyes when we drink, right?
Yeah, because I told you that you were totally not looking me in the eyes earlier. It's okay. sometimes you just got to be told once and then you just never forget it.
Right.
I feel like, yes, it's a sudden thing, but I just feel like after a time, it's just respect. You know, you want to, like, when you're cheersing.
I take direction well, you know?
Good job, Tana. Tana, good job. All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you sure you're ready?
Yes.
Have you ever sent a naked picture to somebody?
Yes, but not in a very, very, very long time.
But you sent a dick pic.
I've definitely sent...
Don't lie.
I want the truth.
Not like a blatant dick pic, but like
what is blatant? Like
not like a raw,
pic?
Yeah, like sweatpants or like
in a
like it was like my girl, but it was like my girlfriend.
Don't try to justify it. Just say
yes.
What
The answer is yes.
Okay, but you haven't been completely naked.
No.
To be questionable.
It was it was so long ago that maybe, but like maybe to
That
my
means
girlfriend,
yes.
but I don't remember.
That means yes.
I really don't think so.
Yes. If you're gonna say a maybe that you sent a naked picture to somebody,
We just talked about, years of partying. Like you never really know.
But how are
Do
you
we ever
drunk?
really know?
Are you drunk taking dick pics?
No.
Exactly. So then you would know.
Yeah, but like
You're blaming it off on booze and other party things. But
right.
only because dick pics, it's unwarranted sometimes. I just hope you weren't on the toilet in a dirty room.
No.
Two no-nos.
No.
Two no-nos. Don't do those things.
No. There was no.
Ace of what?
Ace of hearts.
Oh, it's a romantic question.
Oh no.
Oh, that means you're not romantic. Are you a romantic?
No, I am. I'm just extremely vulnerable,
Why? Because of me, or because you're in a new relationship, or
No,
because
I
just
was
in general?
I was just kidding. I was just being funny.
I don't get the joke, but I'm with
Yes,
you here.
yes,
Romantic.
yeah.
So you're a romantic.
Yeah.
So what's the most romantic thing you've done for a partner?
Most romantic thing I've done for a partner. I actually was dating a girl one time. Mm-hmm. It was a long distance thing. I told her that my flight, I forget what the exact time. I told her my flight was at 4 p.m. And I actually flew in at noon and showed up, set this Airbnb up with flowers and this whole dinner and this whole everything. And when she went to pick me up from the airport, I was like, I'm actually at this location. And she showed up and walked in the house, and it was like a walkway of petals all the way to a prepared dinner that was already ready to rock and roll for Valentine's Day. That's
sweet. Kudos to you. That is very romantic. Most people on the show can't ever come up with a romantic thing. So I like that there's still hope for your generation of men out there, because I feel like sometimes, and not to categorize you, but I feel like it's one of those things, and I've talked about recently of us not being woke, and now we the pandemic, we're in a different mindset because we've had so much time to think about things that we have not thought about before because of our time schedules and stuff, is now we want more. Right. And before it was we didn't. I feel like the effort of dating, especially in this world right now, is it's just been of a no effort type of thing, because that's what we've been accustomed to, because everyone's just wants something. It doesn't mean whatever. So I like when you said with Tana, all these things are it sounds aligned to what it is, because you're putting effort. Right. Whereas most people now, it's the dating world is even asking someone to go on a date is awkward to some people. It's but why? The chivalry of what it is, is just it's few and far between. And I feel in your age group is why I say that, to target with you.
I think it's because of dating apps, personally. I think dating, I think that there's an appropriate use for a dating app, for sure. But I think that a lot of dating, why I personally have never, I have been on back in the day, but why I'm not on any dating apps, in my opinion, personally, if I can't walk up to a girl in a bar that I just want to get her number and ask her for her number, there's something that I need to fix in myself, that I can't just have a conversation with someone. I need to stop hiding behind a phone. I do understand for certain people, you move to a new city, you don't necessarily know anyone, you're trying to branch out. I totally get it for certain people in isolated situations. And if you're really looking to date, but it gets abused by a lot of people where they're just Yeah, come to my house, Netflix and chill, and I'm just gonna fuck these 100 girls that I swipe on Hinge.
I agree with that to point to a thing, but I think that's also because of what the other person. It's not just that person who's swiping on that too. There's another person who's agreeing to that as well.
Oh, totally.
So that's the thing is like there's the other part is the male and female component that are just being okay with it because we all want just scraps of something because we've been lonely or whatever. Where it's like now it's like a point now that we're all kind of out of that like gray area where it's like, no, there's more meaning to other things of like, why should you just have to settle? Right. It's like, if you don't, and not that it means that anybody's better than anything, but it's just like on a relationship level is what checks off the boxes for you that moving forward that can make this relationship really last throughout time. Right. Not just certain time, and that's why with the dating apps, I do agree. Sometimes it makes it just easier too. But even with myself, I can't be on dating apps because of who I am, because either think that it's a catfish or this, that, or other, or in my own like problems of things is like I think like if they don't know that it's not a catfish thing, that they're just gonna assume because my picture. Some people may not even know who I am, but my complex of knowing that. So it's like I'd rather meet them organically, and make it happen. That I'm just like, if that's not gonna happen, that's just not what my thing is. But I do know at this point in my life what I want. Right. It may mean that I have a very scarce phone at times, and that's fine. But I'm holding out for what means something for me for the next level and next chapter of my life.
I totally agree. And I think that's like a lot of our generation has changed because social media has allowed us to have instant gratification. Everything's instant. Everything's immediately. And that's the thing is like,
it's so throwaway though too, is why for me sometimes even men, and not to target like you and you've never done, but just in talking in a broader level, whatever, is sometimes men, if it's not received the right way that I would like, oh, fuck you, or be a part of whatever it is like, oh, you're just a whore, you're this because of what I've done in my past. Yeah. It's so quick to say those words, but it's like, no, that those words don't hurt and mean anything to me because they're just words. Why I said the mirror, thing earlier was like, that's a reflection of what you feel and what those things are. And so it's about the barriers and breaking down those things of the systemic things of men and female of whatever. Like you can just be, if you communicate well on what you want sexually, socially, verbally, whatever, it should be how it is. And that's why for me, I think for my generation is like, it's hard with the apps wise, and I'd rather do it organically, is because if you can't see, like you can either see personally 15 minutes, even 10, if you can vibe with that person, have a conversation or where it's going, to get to like an internal checklist of what works for you in a relationship. Totally. Or even in a relationship period, being friendship.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But I feel like people nowadays, it's just more scared because it's just so surface level of like, oh, like everyone, let's just take a picture.
And I feel like a lot of people, it's like, it's almost increased a lot of people's like pride or ego because it's so easy to replace someone, where they're like, okay, you're not going to text me in 15 minutes. Fuck you. I'm going to move on to the next one. Or okay, like just like really weird, stupid, petty things that like people have lost their patience.
I get what you're saying with that. And that's why I like with yourself being not from LA, I think has a better a grasp on social reality, even though being like pushed in the limelight. That's why I ask questions of like the integration of coming afterwards, of you being young. Because sometimes when people get fame too young, you can either abuse it or you can make it beneficial to yourself. But it seems everything is like it's beneficial, but it's also the world we live in of what's going, but it's a constant of becoming of the person that you are to this day. You know what I mean? And just living in that thing. But being from a small town myself, it's like, yes, you want elevation and you want more for yourself and all these things. But at the same time, too, it's like we still sometimes don't know what we want when we grow up. Totally. You know what I mean? So it's like things change, and that's okay to like change, and things are different from year to year. Are you ready for this last one?
Yes.
It's a spicy question. Which we've all been a little spicy. But are you spicy?
All right.
Yeah, that was a question. Are you spicy?
Am I spicy? I think in the appropriate situation, I am absolutely spicy.
Do you have something that's like was the most embarrassing like sexual experience you've ever had, like that you're willing to share?
Most embarrassing sexual.
Has something happened that you said before, like maybe it didn't work out, or you had to tell them like, oh, it's just not going to happen, but anything like Or maybe you tried too hard to make it happen and it was embarrassing, or just anything that sticks out in mind?
I honestly don't have any like sexual like that I was embarrassed.
Okay, maybe them.
I don't know. I mean, like I'm sure like I've had girls like definitely have situations like. I mean, I guess the perfect example would be like girls that do get upset. They're like, oh well, like why can't you finish? And I'm just like, listen, I've just drinking way too much.
Have they
like,
cried? Have they made it like a big scene, or have they like made it like weird, or that's why it's a situation, or it's just be like they just question you?
No, I guess I've actually been fortunate enough. No, I've never had anyone like freak out in that way. I've definitely had girls, and I get like when I say girls, like maybe once or twice has it ever happened that someone was upset because I wasn't able to finish because I got too fucked up. But I was like, you're beautiful. I'm hard. I'm hard like that. It's not the issue.
Kind of working.
You know, no, it's fully there. It's just.
But the end game is not happening.
I'm like, listen, I've been drinking bourbon all night. My whole body's numb right now. Like, it's just not going to happen.
Sometimes it's just not going to happen. Have you ever used food during intimacy?
No.
Nothing
Nothing.
creative, nothing, no grapefruit was done to you, never like stuck a cucumber somewhere.
No.
Never got an eggplant, just, nothing?
No. No.
Who are your top 5 porn stars? Or I'll say even, let's just do 3. 3 porn stars.
Top 3 porn stars. Well, first I'll say R.I.P. August Ames.
R.I.P.
Loved her. R.I.P. Mia Milano. She's blonde.
I gotta look that one up. I don't know. Is she older? Like what?
No.
What is it? Newer, current? I don't know anybody.
I think she's relatively
sure.
newer.
That's what I was like. Anybody currently? I don't know. I haven't shot any porn in over 5 years, so I don't know anybody currently. And because of the pandemic, like where I would see newer girls would be because of Exotica, because I would do conventions. So I just don't know who's currently shooting. So if that was someone current, I don't know. Augustine, I definitely know and respect the RIP because she was a beautiful female and soul. But I don't know the other one. Okay, so who's the third?
Mia Milano, and then I'm like.
We do this for you.
that makes it way worse.
No, you want me to turn it up? Is that what you said to me?
No, we'll say.
Do you watch porn like that? Like, you know who I was because of name-wise, obviously. It wasn't because you watched my porn. But do you, because some people just don't watch porn. Like, some people either just are fucking, or some people are sexually creative enough that they don't need that and whatever. So it's like, is that even your thing?
No, I mean, it's definitely, I definitely watch porn. I just am terrible.
I just didn't make it on your list. I got it.
It's more like I'm terrible with names. Like,
so
I just see it, I'm like, oh, I know that.
You like big titties.
Yeah.
Is your thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I would never be on your list. I got it.
I'm a tits guy through and through.
I got it. Okay.
Skinny waist, tits.
So we, in my realm, would be like, we'd be wingmen, like best friends. Because I would just be like, okay, I got it. You're just someone who's sexually open and you like me, but you like what you like. And I fuck with it. I'm not that person. So I'm like, hey, see that girl? Hey, what are you doing? Like, I have so many friends like that. It's great. So, 4th.
Or 3rd. We'll say.
You still haven't told me your 3rd. I was trying to help you out.
Oh, how about Kendra Sutherland?
Okay. 3rd.
Love her.
She's amazing. Great tits.
Great tits.
But are all of your top 5 tits you don't circulate around? Not passing any judgment on your list.
I'm trying to think if there are any ass girls.
Don't just force it, because
no, I know I don't have.
Don't force it, Brett.
I don't have any off the top.
Okay, so we need 2 more. What's your search history? You ain't got it. You have OnlyFans subscriptions?
No. That's actually my one when we do two truths and a lie. Like, I can always be like, I have never subscribed to an OnlyFans.
So you just get it for free?
No, I've never even subscribed. I've never even signed up for free.
But you get free clips of it, is what I'm saying.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm like, don't sit up here acting like you never seen an OnlyFans and you be whatever.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, drink. If it was a drinking game, you would drink. Not that you went on their page to their OnlyFans. I'm just saying is there's so many leaks out there. There's so many things these days or whatever. The things that are going on there. It's just like back in the day with like porn scenes. It was leaked. It wasn't that you can do anything about it. But like, don't be like, oh, because I've never paid into that $9.99. I have. You're watching OnlyFans.
Yeah. That's fair. I'm trying. I really am terrible with these.
What had happened was, Brad, you trying to lie to a whole G over here. That's not gonna happen.
I mean, what you got some friends you're trying to set me up with, or
not at all? You're a taken man.
Yes.
If your lady wants to pursue the other ladies, she's got a lot of ladies that would be plethora of that could pertain and facilitate your situation. I am a ladies' lady, so that's what fair. It is. So you've got an ace of diamonds is the last one, which is a spicy question.
Okay.
And what's the longest that you've ever gone without sex?
107 days.
Oh, because this was your big brother experience. So have you always been fucking somebody?
No, that's not true. I went 10 months without sex one time.
When was his time?
Maybe more. It might have been more than that.
What is the truth? We want the truth here at Private Talk. Don't speculate on yourself.
No, I was just I was in like a very
someone broke your heart.
Yeah, pretty much. I was in a very toxic on and off long distance relationship.
Okay.
And because we didn't live near each other, it wasn't like, oh, let's have makeup sex.
I've been there.
And we were just like in a constant like toxic where like it was never worked out enough that we were gonna come see each other, but we were never off enough that I felt comfortable fucking someone else.
I respect that.
So it was just like a weird. I mean, I fucking hated every minute of it. It was terrible, but I was just giving it my all to try and make it work.
I like that. I respect that.
Thanks.
Well, thank you so much. You've passed all the tests of Team Texas. Is there anything that you want to ask Miss Texas before we let you go?
No, I just want to first off say thank you so much for having me. I had an absolute blast. You're the icon that I imagined you would live up to, and I really enjoyed myself.
I appreciate you. Please let us all know at Private Talk where we can support you and follow you and all the things that you're doing.
Of course, guys. So all platforms, my username is Brett W. Robinson. Instagram and TikTok are probably my biggest, as well as my Snapchat as well. Also, my CBD company, Happy Face. Go show some love. If you have anxiety or anything like that, we can help you reduce that. Also, joint pain. And Hoobie, that is our link in bio company. Hoobie guys there. We crush. And if any content creators out there need a page made, please let me know.
I love it. Thank you so much. You may have to give me some like TikTok tips because I know nothing. I don't even have a TikTok yet. Like I have a Team Texas one, but I don't have one for me. I just felt like at a certain point I was like, where do you fit in? But I feel like there's other avenues of just certain things that I thought I couldn't fit in, but it's a brand thing. But yes, thank you so much for taking the time. I appreciate you so much. Private Talk, I hope you loved this episode. Make sure that you subscribe, comment down below, and until next time.